Are you ready for a game changer? I don't know. That's kind of a loaded question because I'll be honest, I'm not usually, maybe very rarely, maybe almost never really ready for a game changer. Maybe a better question is, do you need a game changer? Oh, I don't know about that question either, because most of the time I don't want to say that I need one, but I usually need several. I need some for, the way I look at my career or my business or the way I get involved in the community. I need some game changers for my health. I need some game changers for the way I interact with certain people, for the way I look at certain holidays. I need game changers. I need game changers for the way I look at retirement. I need game changers, right? So are you ready for a game changer? Do you need a game changer? Well, so often it seems like these game changers pop into our lives. Maybe pop is not even the right word. They hit us over the head like a frying pan. We get these game changers that just wake us up, that give us a different perspective. Game changers. We're going to talk about game changers from a couple perspectives today. And see, a young man, Henry David Thoreau, in his 20s, he decides to go and live in the woods, live by a pond, and he went for 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. And he goes and he lives in the woods by a pond, and he builds this little cabin, and he keeps a journal. And, one of the things he jotted down was what it cost him to live. And he said, so often, he said, the amount of value we place on a thing is the amount of what I would call life that we give up for it. As he's keeping this journal, he writes down what it costs him to build this place to live. And he said, I've seen that, and this is in the early 1800s. He says, what I've seen is that so many people spend so much of their lives, they give up so much of their lives for their place of living. And he says, but you could live for this. He says, the value of a thing is the amount of what I would call life that we trade for it. But game changer, right? Perspective, game changer. Henry David Thoreau, he goes to live in the woods. And he summarizes why he went, and this is a game changer for me, and maybe, I bet it's going to be a game changer for you. He said it this way. He said, I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately. To front only the essential facts of life and see if I could not learn what it had to teach. And not when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. Not when I came to die, discover that I had not lived. I did not wish to live what was not life. Living is so dear. Nor did I wish to practice resignation, unless it was quite necessary. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. I wanted to live deep and suck out all the marrow of life. To live so sturdily and Spartan-like as to put to rout all that was not life. He went looking for a game changer. Are you ready for a game changer? Do you need a game changer? Oh, different question. Are you looking for a game changer? I'm amazed how often I'm not really looking for a game changer. One pops up. But when I stop and I actually look for them, they're there. They're there, and the ones I need, they're staring me right in the face. Henry David Thoreau, he goes and lives in the woods for 2 years, 2 months, 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days because he wanted to live deliberately, because he didn't want to waste life. He didn't want to come to die and discover that he had not lived. He wanted to put to rout all that was not life. Game changers. I want to challenge you to think about two things. Number one, some of the game changers in your life. Some of the game changers in your life. What are some of those game changers? Maybe in the past, maybe right now they're staring you in the face. I read this in a book just a couple days ago. It said, what lesson is life handing you right now that you're trying really hard to ignore? That was a question that had the potential to help me unleash some game changers. What lesson does life have for you right now that you're trying really, really hard to ignore? But game changers, so often, they're not big, complicated things. So often, they're like the old expression, an apple a day. An apple a day does what? An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? An apple a day affects our health. We get the expression wrong. The expression doesn't say a cup of coffee, a venti, a latte a day, this with sugar in it, a donut a day. It doesn't say you grab that, Snickers bar a day. It's almost Halloween as I discuss this. And, it doesn't say, hey, go through raid the candy from Halloween. It doesn't say raid that. It doesn't say, it doesn't say a glass of wine. It doesn't say, there's a lot of things it doesn't say. It doesn't say, a little extra bowl of ice cream a day. The expression says an apple a day keeps the doctor away. The expression says an apple a day will affect your health. The expression says your routine, your daily routine and what you eat, maybe a little bit more fruits and vegetables in your day will affect your health. Everybody knows the expression. Everybody on the planet just about probably knows the expression. But do you know a single person? A single person who eats an apple every single day? Most people do not. I've asked this question to probably tens of thousands of people in talks, and usually it's in 1,000 people. It's 10 or 15 say, yeah, I know somebody like that. Sometimes I get two. I do that. I've been doing it for a year, and it actually makes an impact. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Most game changers aren't complicated things. Most game changers are not complicated things. So challenge number one for you is to reflect on some of the game changers in your life. Maybe past, maybe present, maybe a game changer you need to implement. That's challenge number one, game changer. And it might be something simple, like an apple a day. The other day I took, with the family, my wife, my 2 daughters, we went apple picking, and we picked 30 and a half pounds of apples. And some people said, you picked part of the tree too there, Jonathan, we ate, I don't know how many pounds of apples we ate. We ate a lot of apples while we were picking apples. We actually decided we weren't going to eat apples for at least 24 hours between apple picking day and the next time we'd eat apples. But, simple commitment then after you sit there and you say, I got 30 pounds of apples. I'm going to eat an apple every single day. Walking out of the house in the morning, my daughter's heading out to school. Grab an apple. Game changers very often are simple things that we actually do, that we actually let sink roots into our lives. So challenge number one, reflect on a few game changers. Challenge number two. And they go hand in hand. Henry David Thoreau, he goes to live in the woods because he wanted to live deliberately. He pursued a game changer of give your life a little more. In his case, it was a lot, but give your life a little more silence. Give your life a little more chance to step back and look at it. And look at it like he looked at this cost of building a house. He looked at that. Right, the McDonald's brothers, they closed their business down in the late in the 1948. They closed their business down. They were running this restaurant. It served all kinds of stuff, meatloaf and ribs and barbecue and burgers, a lot of different food. And they closed their restaurant down for a few months in 1948. The McDonald's brothers, and they said, "Well, what's going on here?" And they took a look at it. Right, they stepped out of this process of stopping long enough, having the courage to stop long enough, stop doing what you're doing long enough to take a real good, hard look at what you're doing. The courage to stop doing what you're doing, to give yourself some time to take a look at what you're doing. And most of it, I'm too busy, you're too busy. I'm not going to do 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days. I'm not going to do what the McDonald's brothers did and shut down the business. But the challenge for you is a game changer. Maybe it's an apple a day, but to put more silence, put more non-busyness, put more get away from it into your calendar. I don't know what that looks like. That's my challenge for you. What does that look like for you? When will you do it? Most of us, we need a time, a place, a process. We need a time, a place, a process. We need to say, you know what? Every morning I'm going to give myself, just 3 minutes, just 180 seconds every morning to say, how's it going today? What do I want in this day? What do I not want in this day? What am I thankful for this day? What do I need to practice or work on this day? What do I need to try not to do this day? What doesn't fit in my day? What definitely does fit in my day? Give yourself the gift of an apple a day in the area of disconnect. Give yourself some silence. Give yourself a rhythm, a routine of some silence to live more deliberately. To not, when you come to die, discover that you had not truly lived. To put to route in your life, in your career, in your relationship with your spouse, in your parenting, to put to route what's not life. Game changers. Game changers.